All right, everybody. How's it going, everybody? And happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, May 6th. This is Joey Betts. This is the Joey Betts podcast. We're going over a couple of the platforms that I use, just basically cooking up a bet for each platform and then just going over the analysis that I look up and just the things that I go over throughout the daily basis. So you can catch me on Instagram, on X, and on YouTube. Follow at Joey Betts 47. You'll be able to catch all my slips and links on YouTube on the IG story, or I mean on YouTube or the IG story. We're throwing daily bets out there on YouTube as well, and Tuesdays and Fridays will be on at 10 a.m. for your daily slips. Right. So looking into Tuesday, we've got $10 in the Prize Picks. We've got $10 in the Underdog. We're gonna throw out two slips. Remember, Underdog Fantasy has this 25% deposit match. I believe it's good until I believe it's Friday, Thursday or Friday. But yeah, you basically say you throw in $100, you get 125. So it's a $50 bonus max. So you'll throw in 50, and you'll get somewhere around. Come on, percentage people. Uh, say around 15 bucks. I think it is somewhere around there. But yeah, we're gonna go into it. So for today, it's an all NBA. This one's an all NBA boost for the playoffs. You got a 50% profit boost, and if we use it tomorrow, we unlock a 60% profit boost. Prize Picks is Prize Picks. We're gonna run an MLB slip on Prize Picks, and we're gonna look at all the details, right? So I'm gonna run into it. Let's go ahead and start with basketball. I want to start with basketball. Get this going. There's two games on the night. This is round two of the NBA playoffs. We've got Indy and Cleveland, where Indy had an amazing game, coming off of a great series against Milwaukee, and then we had Golden State against Minnesota, and that was a great series between the two, especially with Golden State going to Game 7 and mashing it out at the end there. So Indy Cleveland. Going to the game cast now, what I like to do is I like to look at different kinds of matchups, especially the matchups that they've had in the regular season. Also, great to look at the previous matchup that they had in the playoffs, which, like I said, Indy ended up losing. Cleveland ended up winning 121 to 112. Right? Indy did have a strong lead up until I believe it was a pretty tough lead at the first half. They won the first half by 6 points. So going into it, they they basically won it all, right? They look like they were the better team. Going to the box score. When we go into the box score, what I like to do is I like to look at rebounds. I like to look at how many points this person scored. One of the people that I had last week, or in the last game, I'm sorry, was Aaron Nesmith. Neesmith. Aaron Neesmith. We're going to go with him. Looking at his game log, if Prize Picks or Underdog hold him at a 12.5, we're taking it. We're taking it, right? He's likely going to be at a 14.5 on his line. Let's go check it out. It is a 50% profit boost, so don't be afraid to basically throw in some filler picks, or some easy picks. We want a layup today. Today we want something four times, something five times our money. That way we get 50% of that added on top of it, right? So we're gonna go into it. Look at NBA. Filter out the NBA. Indy, Cleveland, like we said. We've got Aaron Naismith right here. 12.5 points. Amazing. Perfect, right? 12.5. He's got 13 points in his last 5 games. Okay. He's got rebounds as well. It's not something, it's sporadic here and there, but you've got points. The 12.5 is gonna hit. It's probably gonna hit at halftime, very close to halftime. I'd say he has 9 first half points. Looking at it, you can also look at what he's done against Cleveland at Cleveland over here on StatMuse. I like using StatMuse. This will show you the splits. It'll show you all the splits. It'll show you what the players' stats are during the season. Let's say we have MLB batters going up against right-handed pitching. Let's say we had Curry going into Cleveland and how he plays in Cleveland, right? So we were looking at Aaron Neesmith, right? Aaron Neesmith against, we're going to type it in. We're going to go versus Cleveland. Not just versus Cleveland, but in 2025. Let's go with that. Perfect. So you got two games against Cleveland, 410 and 413. This season, he averages 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. You have 22 points, and then you had one game where you had 10 points, right? You also want to check the minutes. In basketball, honestly, if he doesn't have the amount of minutes, he didn't accrue the amount of minutes to play that, 14 minutes is a very small sample size. If he was able to get 14, if he was able to get 10 points in 14 minutes, imagine what he does with 28 minutes, right? That's 20 points on average. So we're going to go with this. I feel like it's a healthy pick. Aaron Neesmith over 10, 12 and a half points. Max Strus as well. He had a very up and down game. He had a very good game against Miami. He has a couple of them. But we want, like I said, we want sure things. We want sure things here. Even if we go for the 10 points, that's a .63. We're going to stick with 12 and a half points. I really like this pick. Halliburton. So we can even put it in by last name. Halliburton versus Cavs in 2025. So this will show you the two games that he played against the Cavs in 2025. He had 19 minutes, 2 points, 5 assists. Terrible game, right? Terrible game. Ever since then, honestly, I really respect what Tyrese Halliburton has done with his game, and honestly, so on and so forth. He had a very good series last series, and he kicked out Damian Lillard and Giannis, right? So very great job to him and the Pacers. But at the end of the day, Tyrese Halliburton is not worth the 19 points that you're giving it to me for. I see it. It may happen. I really like Halliburton on assists. I could really go for him if he's at 9.5, 10.5 is a little loud for me because you look at it. Halliburton versus the Cavs this season, he's averaging 7.5. So at any point in time this playoffs, he can go right back to that eight assists, right? So looking at it, it would be fair to look at a lower line. 0.95, 10 assists would be 3.41, already 3 times your money off of two players, and we already have to pick another because it's the same team, right? So we'll end up doing a 3-man basketball for 50% of our money. Looking a little bit deeper into this Tyrese Halliburton assist match. Check it out. You go down. What I like to see is I like to see playoff series. You can also go to the regular series. In the regular season, what they've done, they've had 4 games in the regular season. So let's see. It's worth taking a look at how Halliburton does in the regular season against Cleveland, right? As far as assists go. Did not play in this game, right? Game log. We could go over to game log. You'll see he had 13 assists in the playoff game. 9, 15, 10, 12, 12, averaging 11.6 assists in that Milwaukee game. So looking at it, he had 10 against Cleveland on the 10th of April. Playing Cleveland again. Where are we at? Where are we at? He had 5, right? 19 minutes. Not too many minutes were played. 5 points. Looks like a dead game for him, right? You don't have any more. You have a very preseason game. All right, so not much going on. Tyrese Halliburton against the Cavs, averaging 7.5. That was only 19 minutes of play. I can cover him for 10. I mean, that's a lower line. I would be happy with 10. But yeah, going into it, it would be worth taking a look at either Golden State, Minnesota, because it's very unlikely you're going to run 4 or 5 picks on the same game and get them right. These lines are very strong for the NBA playoffs, and taking a lesser pick taking an alternate pick for a win to secure it, that'd be the best bet. That would be the best bet in my eyes, right? So we're here trying to win money. Plus money is always good money, no matter how many times your money it is. And I'll always say that. I'll always say that. We have gotten a little ridiculous with our picks as of late, but I mean, bold money is also good money too. So Indy Cleveland, I'm just about done with that game. It would be worth, checking out who went off for Cleveland offensively in this game because, or who missed the amount of shots that were missed. So like I said yesterday, we missed on Jason Tatum. I believe it was $77 off of $10 slip, and Jason Tatum scored 13 hot points right out the first quarter, and he just lays an egg. He lays an egg. I believe it was 11 points for the rest of the game. I saw this guy downright miss 12 shots in a row and like blatantly just throwing them up there, like throwing them up and throwing them up and throwing them up. What that means is that after all that distrust, you're not going to go with them anymore, right? Wrong. You have to go with them again. This next game, I'm giving you an early heads up. Jason Tatum will go off. He'll have like 30 plus points. Celtics will more than likely protect the home court. But we're talking Cavs here. So it'd be worth taking a look at what Donovan Mitchell has been doing. And he's been missing. He's been missing 3-pointers, right? 1 for 11 at 3, and he still scored 33 points. That is wild. That's something where, you can't go 13 for 30 of shooting and still run 33 points, right? That is something crazy. It'll be likely that he throws up the amount of points that he does. Evan Mobley on the rebounds is going to be a bust. I don't see it happening. Didn't happen last game. I would bet on Donovan Mitchell, but likely his point total would be very low, very high. I mean, unnecessarily high. 30 points for Donovan Mitchell, someone who does not average 30 points. We can even look at it. Mitchell versus the Pacers in 2025. He's got 27 and then he's got 9. No one really played that. Well, he's got 27. 27 points. And then just against the Pacers in general, he's averaging 27.4 points per game, 4 assists, right? This is not 29 points, 30 points, right? He scored 30 points twice against Miami. And those are 2 games that they really needed him for. Other than that, I don't really see this happening. I really don't see 30 points happening. Prize Picks has him as a taco pick at 28.5. You can likely go under on Donovan Mitchell's regular line. He doesn't score 24.5. I mean, he scores the 24.5. That'll probably hit. But the more likely one would be the Donovan Mitchell point line under, right? We're gonna take a look at something more promising. I don't really like going under on players like Donovan Mitchell because you never know, right? This guy is capable of scoring 30 in his pocket. And that's one thing that we saw. He was, what was it, 13 for 30? What was it? It was something crazy. Sorry, everybody. Don Mitchell was... Let's go ahead and check it out. Mitchell versus the Pacers. 27.4 points per game. And this one in specific, he went 1 for 11 from 3, right? So I don't think he's going to do that again. I also don't think he's going to hit 30 points. So the first thing I'm going to say is stay away from Donovan Mitchell unless you're going to fade him on Prize Picks, right? Under 28.5 sounds promising, right? Even if you go over 32.5, lower than that, that would be kind of wild too. So I don't want to touch Donovan Mitchell. I don't want to really go after that or pursue that pick. So I'm going to go ahead and exit that out. We still got Tyrese Halliburton on 10 assists And then we also got Aaron Nesmith on 12.5 points, right? Um, like I said, Mobley rebounds is it's trash. It's trash. It's something where he might hit. He really might hit. Andrew Nemhard had a really good game last game against Cleveland as well. It is Halliburton time. Honestly, you could take him for points and assists as well because his point total is very low at 18 and a half. He had 22 points in a pretty tough game for him in 36 minutes, right? So I could see him scoring more points and assists. I really like his assist line at 9.5. That's very safe for me. So going into it, we got TJ McConnell as well at 6.5 points. Let's see where TJ McConnell is. 7. No, we're not gonna take that. Yeah, we're not taking these. Obi Toppin. I just can't knowingly take these. Ty Jerome. Let's see. It might be worth a look. Ty Jerome against the Pacers, 24. Any more games? Ty Jerome versus Indy. That could be something to look at. 7.8 points in 6 games against the Pacers. Hasn't done very good up until the fact that he had the 24 points. What has he been doing as of late? Let's see. As of late, the card wants me to take him for 15.5 points. That's a lot. That is a stretch. Even a 12.5 is very low on the odds, so we're going to stay away from that. We're just going to completely stay away from that and dig our way towards the main event. Anthony Edwards against Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. This is the biggest thing for me. Jimmy Butler, as you may have forgot, he used to play for Minnesota. He has a lot of bad blood for Minnesota. There's a lot of stuff that happened with Minnesota, just like Miami, where Jimmy Butler, just like I said yesterday with Russell Westbrook, he has a lot to prove. It's a prove it game out there. So Jimmy Butler versus the T Wolves is going to look like this. He has 18.3 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists in 15 games, right? But it was after Minnesota did him dirty, is what I want to see. So after 2019, you want to see you have 19, 12, 18, yeah, 30, 25, and then 16 and 15 with Miami. So let's double check, see what's going on. Apologize on that. No ads. Please, no ads. Let's see if he's played the T-Wolves in 2025. He has not. Let's see what he did to the T-Wolves in 2024. 15 points, 5 rebounds. It's not quite the 22 that we want, but let's take a look at what he's been doing lately. 20, 27, 8, 27. This one also is a high line, very high line for Jimmy Butler. We're going to keep it going. We're going to go into Steph Curry. We got Julius Randle. Julius Randle has been doing an amazing job, honestly, and going up against a very small Golden State team, I can see Julius Randle hitting that point line of 20.5. So looking at it, let's go into Julius Randle and see what he's been doing. Let's check it out. This might be our pick right here. So in the regular season, they played each other 4 times. Latest one being on 115. And Julius Randle, I believe he may have been playing. He did play. 17 points. Okay. Now, Julius Randle, as of late, has been doing much better. You look at it 23, 25, 22, 27, 16 against a Laker team that is also pretty small, right? I mean, the Lakers don't have a Kevin Looney or they don't have, you know, players, pretty big players like that, where Quentin Post could end up going and getting rebounds over Julius Randle. But the point man is what I'm looking at, is what I'm thinking about. Right now, he's averaging 17.6. It's just under what we want, but it would be fair to say or to look at how he plays against Minnesota, being that they're both in the West. They at least have one game that they've played each other in. So we're going to start looking into it a little bit deeper as we go. Oh, not Minnesota, but Golden State. Apologies, apologies. Here's a Golden State game 27 minutes, 17 points, right? So you see, none of these are 27 minutes. He didn't play 27 minutes not once against the Lakers. He played 32 minutes. He had 23 points, right? So it's pretty on point, right? 27 minutes, 17 points. We'll go down to this one. 32 minutes, 16 points. Okay, Golden State has a pretty good defense. Pretty good defense. 37 minutes, 14 points. 24 minutes, 16 points. So, as it may look like this is the pick on paper, Julius Randle has exceeded this. And I love it when people say, people go into outlier and then we say, okay, he's hit it in 5 of his last 6 games, but how many times has he hit it against the team that he's playing against, right? How many times has he hit it against Golden State? And in this case, he hasn't at all this season. So we're going to stay away from Julius Randle as well. Draymond, Draymond has been slowly declining. I mean, as far as his points go, usually he's like a good 25, 26 PRA kind of guy. 19 and a half is kind of high still, but um, I really like Draymond in this series. I'm not too sure why. I just like how he goes up against Gobert. We won't mess with it too much. DiVincenzo is a really big threat against Golden State as well. But those points just aren't there. Pods, he's been dealing with a lot of sickness. Buddy was Buddy last game with 33 points. It'd be safe to say that you feed Buddy throughout the day. Jaden McDaniels, see, there's not too much consistency when it comes to points. Nas Reed as well. I would take this. Me personally, 10.5 points is very low for Nas Reed, especially up against a Golden State team. It'd be worth taking a look at how he does against Golden State. So we'll go ahead and pull up one of these games that they played. Nas Reed would be a very good pick. I really like how clutch he comes in, and you know, the lines, they can't really tell what Nas Reed's going to do. So 15, what do we have him at? We have him at 11 points, right? So I'm going to take you on a deep dive of what Nas Reed does against Golden State, right? You go to his game log, take a look at what he does against Golden State. Nas Reed had 15. Against Golden State, Nas Reed had 16, 10, 9, right? So those 2 games that he had, he only had 10 and 9 points. At that point, he was averaging 11 points per game. Now, swing into January, he's averaging 16 points per game. So he's much more of a threat going from December to January. The reason why he only has 9, 10 points. And then you go into right here where you get 17 points, I believe it is, earlier in the month. It's 16 right here, and I believe it's 17 right. It's 15 right here, right? 100% free throw shooting. He hit 3 3-pointers. That's another thing to look at. Golden State does tend to leave people open from three, especially bigs out there. You've got 4 for 7 from three, 1 for 6, 1 for 5. He's at least jacking up 5 threes against against the Warriors this season. 7 threes. So if his line is somewhere around 4.5 threes jacked up, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. 1.5 3-pointers made. If he can make two at least, that would be golden. There has been times where he hasn't. I believe there's a one up here. I believe 3 for 7 from three, 4 for 7 from three, and then you have one from six, and one from five. Right. So if we're going 1.5 3-pointers made, I'm taking that for Nas Reed. If we're going 3.5 3-pointers attempted, I'm taking that for Nas Reed. I don't see any attempted, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do myself a favor, and I'm going with Nas Reed. Halliburton assists. So this is what happens when you find a very good pick on on underdog. What underdog likes to do is they like to delete your pick, right? As you're betting. So we're gonna stick with right here. This is a 4 times, right? If you just run this, Naismith at 12.5 points and Nas Reed at 1.5 3-pointers, you're gonna get 4 times your money, right? So you can also run Nas Reed on a lower point line. It would be nice. I really like to check prize picks because prize picks lines are a little bit tougher. 1.5 3 points made is a very risky run, but he does jack him up. He does jack him up against Golden State. Lakers held him to 3. Lakers held him to 9. The points, I mean, I'd rather take 8 points off of 2 3-pointers made than anything like that, right? So I like Nas Reed on the threes. I like Aaron Neesmith on points. And we're going to go, and sometimes they go and they take off things that, they start taking off assists. They start taking off all kinds of stuff. Assist is blocked. Yeah, this player is no longer available. So that means that Halliburton is going to have himself a game. Going 8.5 if we play the points and assists at 28.5. Right, so now if we play assists, no longer available. That one's no longer available. Fourteen and a half rebounds and assists. 16, 14, 23, 17, 17. I honestly, I don't really like rebounds for Halliburton. I would much rather take assists, but rebounds and assists being at 14 and a half. Now, Halliburton can have 12 assists, right? Being that they took off the 9.5 tells you that something's going on. Halliburton will have some assists today. They took it off for safety. So you got 13, 10, 5 in 19 minutes, though. $32, 24. Man, I really want those assists, honestly. Let's refresh. So if you can get Halliburton at 10 assists, take it. Take it and put your money down. Throw your money down on that. That would be a three team for 9.5. There it is. Bam. Refresh. There it is. It's live now. 10 for 74 on 10 assists for Tyrese Halliburton. two threes made from Nas Reed and Aaron Neesmith with 12.5 points, right? So that we're going to play that through. We're going to confirm it in, and that's going to be one of our picks. That's going to be our NBA pick. On Underdog Fantasy, what they're doing is they're having a 40% drop, and if you play the 40%, the next day will turn into 50%. After the 50%, it'll turn into 60% profit boost, right? So what that did was it made our $53 entry into a $74 entry, right? So we already have a pick out there. It's in our live. It's in our pick'em. We have Nas Reed, Tyrese Halliburton, Aaron Neesmith out there, and then now we're gonna dip into our baseball picks, right? So what we want from Prize Picks, honestly, I'm okay with the three-man, with a really simple three-person parlay, especially with this baseball slate that we have coming up. We have a 12 o'clock game. We have a couple 3 o'clock games, but not too much on the slate, even though there are a few teams going today, right? So with baseball, we're going to flip the page, turn the page, and start flipping into some baseball. Right here is called Swish Analytics. I really like this app because it tells me, and whatever kind of app you use, it's all different. But one thing I would get away from is looking into how hot this person is, right? It's always a factor. But at the end of the day, there's always matchups, especially with baseball. There's pitchers that have batters' numbers, vice versa. There's batters that have pitchers' numbers. There are people that are going to play, right? So Alex Bregman, he's one of the people that I like to say is on a no-fly list for me. I really don't like Alex Bregman, to be honest with you. Completely honest with you, I do not like putting my money on Alex Bregman, right? And I'll be straight up. Vladimir rakes against lefties. Tyler Anderson is a good lefty, but looking at it, you've got 6 for 11, two doubles, and let's go a little bit deeper into this. You've also got a 667 average right here. You've got Max Muncy off of Cal Quantrill is going to have a tough game against the Dodgers today. And I believe I may have said that last time, but we're going to see this one too. Mike Yastrzemski against Colin Ray. 5 for 6, 3 hits, a double, 2 home runs, and a strikeout, right? That's good enough for me personally. Yastrzemski against Colin Ray. Let's see how Yastrzemski deals with righties. We're going to go into that Frisco game. Frisco has a very good all-around team playing against the Cubs. They just played they played the Cubs. Padres play the Yankees. Great series for a couple teams out west that are doing good this year. So, Colin Rea. What I like to look at right off the bat is bat versus pitch. I really love looking at that because it tells you what the player has done against a batter in their career. You've got Patrick Bailey with a 2 for 2 and a double. So he sees contact, right? You have a bigger we have a bigger sample size with Mike Yastrzemski. He's 3 for 5 with a double and 2 home runs, 5 RBI, right? Yastrzemski's the guy today against right-handed pitchers. He's hitting 316. 316 against righties, right? Looking at it, they're away, right? 316, he hits 250 on the road. Not something you really like to see, but Yastrzemski's the guy for me today. I really like to go hits, runs, RBI, but it's all up to you and how you guys play the game, right? Total bases, you'll see he has a demon for 1.5, right? So an extra base hit, no, he doesn't. So that extra base hit isn't there. Hits, runs, RBIs, I'm taking that every day. We also said, who did we say? We were talking about another person. Vladdy against righties. Vladdy against righties, I already know he tears it up. Vladdy against lefties, I'm sorry. Against the Angels at Angel Stadium. His dad's place to play, right? So it's something special when he plays there, right? Tyler Anderson, left-handed pitcher, 2-0, 2.67. Like I said, good lefty, right? Bad game last game. Bo Bichette, you got 3 for 4 with a homer and 2 RBIs. You've got Anthony Santander, 2 for 3 with a homer and 2 RBIs. This tells me that he had a very rough game last game. You've got Dalton Varsho with 12 at bats, 7 hits, 3 doubles, 5 RBI. So he's giving it up. Right now, Tyler Anderson does not look safe against the Blue Jays, but this is the guy we really want. 6 for 11, 2 doubles, 2 RBI. He's going to go for it. We're looking at him against left-handed pitching, right? Splits left-handed 276. On the road 281. In Angel Stadium. Let's go last year, right? Last year at Angel Stadium. He's hitting 429 with 2 home runs and 4 RBI in 14 games. This guy's breaking at Angel Stadium, right? So it's worth taking Vladdy. It may be a goblin, especially, yep, of course. They want more. I'm taking the hitter fantasy score. With Vladdy, he hasn't hit it in three of his last 5. That means to me, he's due. He's due. He's due for a double. I could even take him on a 1.5 bases, but he's not on there for the 1.5 bases. Looking at it, I really like the hitter fantasy score on this one. Even an RBI, your half RBI is still some plus money. You've got a half RBI that makes your 10 into 40 already. So Vladdy with an RBI, I really like that. Bat versus pitch. We'll see where he's batting in the lineup. 324 with 5 RBIs on the season, 2 coming from Tyler Anderson. Looking at the lineup, this also shows lineups, so you guys are more than welcome. MLB research. Lineups, we're looking at the Angel game. Later on today, Skeens is pitching. No way. You've got Vladdy batting second. Vladdy batting second is a good chance for an RBI. I mean, it is very risque. Risque, definitely risque. So I'm going on total bases. If I could take him for 1.5, I would. If I could take him for 1.5 on here, I would as well. They don't offer that, so we're gonna stick with this. Let's see. Let's see what else we got. All right, going to research batter versus pitcher. Now we want one more. I really like Freddie Freeman, especially against Cal Quantrill. 6 for 9, 2 doubles, a triple, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Freddie Freeman on a Tuesday. I don't think it's at Dodger Stadium, so it's worth taking a look at. But the Dodgers Miami game. So Dodgers Miami game, you got Cal, right-handed pitcher, against Freddie Freeman, 9 for 17, 2 doubles, a triple, and 3 walks. Right? Has probably one of the better averages against him. Looking at it, game log looks beautiful. Against right-handed pitching, Freddie Freeman rakes 391. On the road, 257. Doesn't do very well. Marlins Park, though, he's 2 for 5 this season with a home run and 2 RBI. And then in 2024 at Marlins Park, because it's still very young in the season, right? We're looking at a 364 average, right? Freddie Freeman's that guy. So, looking at it, 5 and an RBI would be 7. So a double RBI for Vladdy, looking at that, would be 7 fantasy points. Now, a double RBI and a walk would be over the 7.5. Now, I could see him hitting the ball very hard. I could really see him getting the 1.5 total bases. Today, for me, it's really all about safe. Being safe and playing this one safe. We're sticking with the half total bases, but if you want the double, I would take the 1.5 total bases. If you want the hits, runs, and RBI, take the 1.5 hit, run, and RBI. Those are stellar. We're just looking for plus money today, right? All right, so the 10 for 22.50 so far. And then, like we said, we really like Freddie Freeman today. So Freddie Freeman, Mike Yastrzemski, Vlad Guerrero are the ones that we really want to run through. 32.50 for that. But if you run Freddie Freeman on at least 2 bases, you're looking at 40 bucks. 40 bucks off of a $10 play. Now, if you run Vladdy on hitter fantasy score, that'll be 50 even, right? You got Freddie Freeman on 2 bases. That'd be a double, right? Yastrzemski on 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, which I feel like is the centerpiece of this all. And then we've got Vladdy at 7.5. 7.5. We want him for more. I want to take his RBIs. Let's take a look at it. 10 for 75. Let's see what's up with Freeman. Game log for Freeman: 2 hits, 1 hit, 3 hits, 1 hit. So let's see. What if we ran Vlad for the RBI, Yastrzemski for the hits, runs, and RBI, and then we went back to Freeman and we went after a small feat. Something like a hit, run, RBI. That's 10 for 60. Right there. You got a demon pick, you got a goblin pick, and then you've got your regular pick right there. So I'm really feeling good about that. But in all sincerity, I would love to have Vladdy at 7 hitter fantasy score. I would love to have Freddie Freeman at right where he's at, but for plus money, right? You can even take the 1.5 total bases. Me personally, the reason why is because I can see him getting a single and an RBI, a single, 2 RBIs, right? And not getting on base anymore or drawing walks, right? Because he does walk against this pitcher. He has, who is it? It's Cal Quantrill. 3 walks against this pitcher, right? So hitter fantasy score is up there for a reason. 9 points is kind of high. I'm taking the 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. That's 10 for 60. You have an RBI from Vladdy, Mike Yastrzemski on hits, runs, and RBIs, and then Freddie Freeman on the hit, run, and RBI as well. You know what? 75, 60. Nine hits, 2 doubles, and 1 triple, so that's 3. See, the reason why I take my time on this one is because the difference between a total base and a hit, run, and RBI is very simple. Total bases are getting getting a hit, getting on base, and getting over, right? Your hits, runs, and RBIs are a little different where you can walk and score a run. You can pop it up and have an RBI, right? So he can go 0 for 2 with 2 RBIs and still hit, right? So that's something where it's very safe. I'm big on safety today. We're big on safety. We're 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Yastrzemski, 1.5 for Freddie Freeman, and the RBI is probably the most risque we're gonna go with Vladdy, right? So we're gonna look at that. You guys, we're gonna go ahead and post this through, and like I said, on Instagram every day, daily, right here on YouTube daily, on X daily, you'll be able to see videos and analysis from Joey Bets. I give you all the scoop in my 1-minute shorts, and then you can also see my bets as well as the links to follow on my story on Instagram. So you guys follow, subscribe. We're going to go over the plays one last time. I've got Mike Yastrzemski, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. You've got Vladdy Guerrero on the RBI against the Angels. Freddie Freeman, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs against Miami. And then switching over to basketball, we've got Nas Reed, 1.5 3-pointers made. Tyrese Halliburton on the 9.5 assists. And then Aaron Neesmith on 12.5 points. Now, this is the 50% profit boost. We're going into 60 tomorrow. So, you guys, I always say, take a look, take a pick. And what that means is if you guys can take any one of these picks and throw them into your lineup and help win it, then that would make, my day a lot better, right? We do this for the people. We give you guys the deep analysis. You guys do what you want with it. Tail the play if you want all the way. We win money here too, of course. But overall, you guys, I like to say, take a pick, take a look, take a pick, and have an amazing day, everybody.